Right, here we go, dudes. Let's get in there. New game will do. I'm playing the Metal Gear Solid series for the first time. It may appear like that, but unfortunately that is not an excuse. I like Metal Gear Solid 1. I like Metal Gear Solid 2. I like Metal Gear Solid 3.
What if you like 2, but you don't like 1, and you like 3 as well?
Yeah, what if you like yeah, like, say what if you like multiple combinations? I guess I'm gonna say I like Metal Gear Solid 2.
What if you're not playing it for the first time, but you don't like any of the other 3? What happens?
Impressive.
It can get confusing, that's what can happen. Impressive! I assume the exclamation mark is a brup? Can't wait for the fail, take it easy from G-Cube. Thank you very much, dude. Can't wait for the fail. And I actually did pretty alright in Metal Gear Solid 2. It took a good, like, two sets or something like before the fail started to, really present itself. I think 2. I think, I like Metal Gear Solid. I like Metal Gear Solid 1 as well, but... wait, what was the... Why... So that wasn't even... I thought that was the difficulty selection. In a really weird way.
Maybe it's going to tell you less things like, you know...
Maybe, yeah, there's some spoilers forward or backwards, and it goes like, well, if you like... I mean, I would say I like Metal Gear Solid 3, but I'm just being honest to what the game is saying. It's basically saying, have you played 1, 2, or 3? And I haven't played 3, so I'm just gonna say 2. I'm gonna select 2. Difficulty normal, yep, FO. I'm gonna say 2. I assume I don't know, maybe it's got something to do with spoilers and it's just like, you know, if you say you played 2, we assume we played 1 and 2.
After the end of World War II, the world was split into 2, East and West. This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
Oh, it's set in Cold War, cool. A Hideo Kojima game. Wow, very insightful. I don't know why I laughed. Very insightful. Would not have seen that coming. You gotta love the Metal Gear Solid games, man. They're like an interactive, like, thriller-type film, except... Whereas most interactive movie-type games would be shy, Metal Gear actually has fun gameplay as well as a really good interactive kind of story kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Flying over Pakistan, altitude 30,000 feet.
Approaching Soviet airspace.
20 minutes to drop off.
Commencing internal depressurization. Equipment check. Arm main parachute. Impressive.
Impressive.
Ready to go.
Drop zone still showing a high pressure mass. Cav okay.
Good. We've got high visibility.
The graphics are a bit better in this one over at second. Seems to be more like, I mean, could be just these like, I mean, look in game rendered. Seems to be like nicer like depth of field and shit going off.
Connecting oxygen hose to interior connector.
I would say is that riding brick, can't be, can it? It's not born yet, I don't think.
Does this panty waste know what he's doing?
Panty waste?
Approaching release point.
10 minutes to drop off.
Hey, are you deaf?
He said put out the cigar and put on your mask.
All that air to throw a cigar out into, and he's just gonna throw it into the fucking plane, and look at that. Give smokers a bad name with shit like that.
Depressurization complete.
Checking oxygen supply.
6 minutes to drop off. Opening rear hatch.
Sunrise.
Got a cool camera angle then, I like that.
External temperature minus 46 degrees Celsius. 2 minutes to drop off. Stand up.
You'll be falling at 130 miles per hour. Try not to get frostbite from the wind chill.
Try not to get frostbite from the wind chill of falling.
Activate the alarm.
I'll rub my hands together right fast, shall I?
History books. The First, halo jump.
10 seconds to drop off. Stand by. Status okay. All green.
Prepare for drop-off. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Spread your wings.
And fly. God be with you.
I would say they always do that, just kind of like lean over and fall out of planes, but you totally would, wouldn't you? You're gonna fall anyway, you may as well do it funny. You almost skydived? Fucking hell.
She banged her head
Jack,
on
I've
the
got
plane
some
and
important
knocked herself
news.
unconscious on the way out.
Oh,
The
nice.
CIA has finally given us the green light for the virtuous mission.
Virtual mission.
No, the virtuous mission. The future of our Fox unit depends on it. If it succeeds, we'll be officially organized into a unit.
Virtuous mission. Sounds like some kind of initiation ritual.
You know, don't get cocky. This isn't a training op.
Right. So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Well, about 2 years ago, a certain Soviet scientist requested asylum in the West through one of our moles. His name is Nikolai Stepanovich Sokolov. He's head of the OKB 754 Design Bureau, one of the Soviets' top-secret weapon research facilities, and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
I'm sure I've heard Sokolov before.
Isn't he that famous rocket scientist?
The very same.
Oh, okay, never mind.
On April the 12th, 1961, the Soviets achieved the first manned spaceflight in history.
The Earth was blue, but there was no God.
Well spoken. The rocket that carried Yuri Gagarin to orbit was the A-1, known as the Vostok rocket. Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used in that rocket. After Gagarin's flight, Sokolov left rocket development to become the head of the newly established Design Bureau.
From a lowly technician to head of a design bureau, that's quite a success story. So why do you want to defect?
It seems he'd become afraid of his own creations.
Afraid?
Call it a crisis of conscience.
And for that, he left his country and his family behind and went over the fence?
Not exactly. One of his conditions was that his family was also to be taken safely to the west. He used a mole to get the family out first, and succeeded in sneaking Sokolov over the Berlin Wall shortly afterwards. I was the one who conducted the operation.
The security on the eastern side was still full of holes back then. Then what?
We got Sokolov over in one piece, but the whole ordeal had left him exhausted, and we checked him into a hospital in West Berlin. It took him 2 weeks and more than 600 miles to get from the research facility in the Soviet Union to Berlin. He was in no condition to say anything coherent. And it was only a week later that we had something much bigger on our hands.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
Look at me, can't sell papers fast enough there, could I?
President Kennedy received word that the Soviets were in the process of deploying intermediate-range ballistic missiles in Cuba. The President demanded that the Soviets dismantle and remove...
Oh, it's mixing in politics again.
At the same time, he announced a naval blockade to prevent further missile shipments from reaching Cuba. But the Soviets didn't back down, instead placing their armed forces on secondary alert. Soviet transport ships carrying missiles continued on course towards Cuba. US and Soviet forces went on alert for an all-out nuclear war. Frantic negotiations were conducted through the UN's Emergency Security Council and unofficial channels to end the hair-trigger standoff. Finally, on October the 28th, the Soviet Union agreed to remove its missiles from Cuba, and so the world avoided a nuclear holocaust. But in order to get the Soviets to pull their missiles out, we had to make a deal.
You mean the one where the US agreed to remove its IRBMs from Turkey?
No. The Jupiter IRBMs deployed in Turkey were obsolete, and we were going to get rid of them anyway. They had no strategic value whatsoever to either the US or the Russians. The Turkey deal was a ruse, a cover story that was fed to the other intelligence agencies around the world.
So what did the Russians really want?
Sokolov. They wanted us to return Sokolov.
You mean the Soviets pulled out of Cuba just to get their hands on Sokolov?
That's right.
What the hell was he working on?
At the time, we had no idea. We were running out of time. It's either give up Sokolov or risk full-scale nuclear war. In the end, we had no choice. President Kennedy gave in to Khrushchev's demand. The next day, I got Sokolov out of the hospital, handed him over to agents on the eastern side. Sokolov kept on screaming, "Save me," until he disappeared from my sight. Then a month ago, we received some new information from one of our moles.
About Sokolov?
Yes. He was taken back to the research facility and forced to continue working on the weapon in question under KGB supervision. What's more, it's on the verge of completion.
So what kind of weapon is it? Something to do with space rockets?
Space rockets.
No, missile.
Same technology.
Rockets
I
designed for
guess you're
shooting
right. I
space.
don't know the details, but it appears to be a new kind of nuclear device. For half a year now, the Soviets have been conducting frequent nuclear tests at Semipalatinsk.
Something to do with the weapon, I assume.
We're talking about a secret weapon so big that Khrushchev was ready to pull out of Cuba to get it back.
Is Sokolov still in the facility?
No. According to our intelligence, he's in Selino-Yarsk, a place in the mountains about 3 miles to the west that's known as the Virgin Cliffs.
The Virgin Cliffs? Nice name for a virtuous mission.
They moved him there just recently.
Why?
Apparently, they're conducting a field test of the weapon, but it's our best chance to get him back. This mission would never have been possible if he was still in the research facility. This is our last chance. Sokolov must have known that too when he contacted us.
Is he done? Giving you a right rundown there, wasn't I? Oh, I see. He was remembering all that while falling. Guess he's got time. What does that cat doing, man? You should change the tape noise back to the abrupt sound for Metal Gear Solid. From Muscle Points. Thank you very much, dude. Yeah, I should have done, shouldn't I? But I like the impressive sound, me. I bet impressive.
Listen up, Jack.
Right, go
Your
on.
mission is to infiltrate Selino-Yarsk in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of Sokolov, and bring him back to the west.
That's cool.
If we don't get Sokolov back before that weapon is complete, we'll be facing a major crisis. The clock is ticking.
A bit random just to let you look in first person mode. Just here you go. You can
the recovery point. A recovery
look at not
balloon will be
much.
dropped at that point. Helium will be pumped into the balloon to inflate it. The process takes about 20 minutes. Once it's complete, the gunship's arm will latch onto the balloon and pull it up.
The Fulton surface-to-air recovery system. I'm familiar with the theory.
Take it easy. It's been combat proven.
Do you think Sokolov is up to it?
The shock will be less than during a parachute jump, and the arm can handle up to 500 pounds.
So you're planning on going over the border in a single combat talent?
She's equipped with 2 6-barrel 20mm Vulcan cannons, as well as 2 40mm machine guns.
Sounds like she could hold her own against a battalion of tanks.
Even with the fuel in the reserve tank, we're facing a 4-hour time limit. If all goes well, it shouldn't take more than a few hours.
Home in time for dinner.
But if anything goes wrong,
You'll be eating dinner, breakfast,
and all the rest of your meals in the jungle.
There you go, Claire. Possibility of eating snakes. Just gotta hope everything goes wrong.
They usually do with you, so.
It seems like we're in the right fucking place to find snakes as well. It looks jungling. Jungalian. Jungulian. Jungle. Just don't care, do they? Upside down neck, whatever. Pretty smooth landing, really, considering all through those trees and shit. It's a bit... Who's he doing this for? Who's he doing that for? Maybe himself, fair enough. He likes to be cool for himself. What's he got on his arm? clothes, yes. Okay. Young Snake's proper showboat already, just like, does everything like dramatically. Right, it's Jack. What the fuck? Who's
Yeah, your head doesn't go upside down.
Jack? But voiced by usual Snake Guy. And thought he was Snake Guy. But is clearly not Snake Guy. What fucking... surely it'll say something at some point.
You have a funny run.
This is quite a funny run. Like he's sneaking, but running. That looks quite nice.
Jump down the cliff.
I don't think you're supposed to do that. Claire!
What?
No, what's the button to get up? You know, I was gonna press A, and I had this feeling from Metal Gear Solid 2 that was gonna drop me. Yeah, 'cause it's the crouch sort of thing.
This is something out of Disney content.
Ah, that's the button we need. What's this? Olive drab. Hey up, Snake!
Eat it! Eat it!
I can feel it moving under me. Oh, hey up.
Press X to eat snake.
Do you copy? You're already in enemy territory, and somebody might be listening in. From here on out, we'll be using code names to refer to each other. Your code name for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake from now on. You're not to mention your real name.
Snake?
What, you don't like snakes?
What do you mean?
Well, you've eaten one before, haven't you?
In survival
Oh my
training?
god.
Yeah. I'm glad to hear that.
I don't know if I'd ever order one in a restaurant, but
Be careful, you might not have a choice.
what about you, Major? What should I call
Have you
you?
played this game before?
Let's see.
What about all the snake eating and shit before?
I'll be Tom. Call me Major Tom.
Major Tom?
Snake,
Yeah,
the crew isn't watching anymore. You can take off the disguise now.
good idea. This isn't right. Time for the snake to shed his skin.
The codec screens are quite nice. Bit different. Let's see who you really are.
Betty the milkmaid.
Got away with it too, for those meddling kids. There we go, that's better. Fucking Jack at the beginning and shit like that. It did look like fucking Raiden. Raiden's there, and it looked like Raiden, but it's like, it can't be because he's not born yet. If it's set when it said it wore on the load thing, like 1950s or whatever it was.
Snake likes leaves.
Everybody likes leaves. They're very inoffensive.
Can you hear me, Major Tom? This is Snake. Kept you waiting, huh?
This will be a sneaking mission. You must not be seen by the enemy. You must leave no trace of your presence. Is that clear? This kind of infiltration is the Fox unit's speciality. In other words, weapons and equipment are procure on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
Great.
I don't know if I'm
Now I
completely
see why
naked,
you asked
but...
me if I like snakes. I suppose calling me Snake was your idea of a joke, too.
No. There's a good reason for that. I'll tell you later when the time is right.
Gotcha. Getting back to the subject, how exactly am I supposed to feed myself?
You've been issued a knife and a tranquilizer gun. Use them to hunt for food. You'll also find some medical supplies in your backpack.
Yeah, about the backpack. I lost it in a tree on the way down.
Best get it back then.
I see. Well, you'd better go back and get it then. You know where it is?
No problem. I can see it from here. It's stuck on
Typical
the
Brit,
branch.
innit? It's like, oh, I've lost something. It's like, well, you better go get it then.
To
Better
climb
go
a tree,
unlost it.
stand in front of a tree that's covered in ivy and press the action button.
I love this fourth wall shit.
I'll be monitoring your progress over the radio. We can't risk violating Soviet airspace, but I'll be in the gunship. My frequency is 140.85. I'll give you a call if I need to talk to you. If you need to talk to me, use the send function. Okay, Snake. Go get your backpack.
So we're gonna look for a tree with some ivy shit on it and climb that shit. Fair enough. I wasn't here before. I was over that stump. I was over there. Oh, that looks like the tree that could be in question. How do you... Maybe crawl through that shit? Ah. Hey, yo, games didn't fuck about, did they? But there were loads of people there, like, for about half an hour. Like, I don't know what you fucking do. But the bloody war, you know. But then again, back in the old days, when it came out, I mean, like, nowadays, I bet there's quite a lot of people that probably do that, maybe, but... What are you doing, Snake? Up. I don't know how you jump from branch to branch. I do want my backpack. Oh, that? I didn't see that. I was trying to go up trees and I was looking up at these branches, me.
Who wants to be a monkey?
I was trying. What? He called me? What do you want?
Snake, did you climb that tree?
Yes.
Good. So the backpack?
Not yet.
Not yet? Don't tell me you went up the tree just to take in the view. Well, I must admit that's not a bad idea. Climbing a tree does give you a wider range of view. You can use it for scouting. But what you need to do now is retrieve your backpack. Understood?
Yeah.
The backpack is on the branch pointing east on that tree, right?
What
Walk
the-
along the branch.
How
and
did you
get-
know that?
Be careful not to fall. You should be able to grab your backpack if you hang from the branch by pressing the action button.
Okay. So he says, hang. Oh, okay, did it. No positioning required. You better talk to me this time rather than me doing
I
it.
see
Oh, good.
you've retrieved your backpack, Snake. To equip a weapon, it's necessary to take it out of your backpack. In the survival viewer, choose Weapon from the backpack. Your available weapons will be displayed in a window in the upper left. From that list, choose the weapon you want to equip and press the Enter button. For other equipped items, just do the same thing from Item.
Got it. Use the survival viewer backpack.
Yep, that's right. Survival is fundamental to this mission. After you've been out in the field for a while, your stamina will start to drop. If your stamina gets too low, it'll affect your performance. You won't be able to shoot accurately, for example, and your wounds won't heal as smoothly.
I don't want
Keep
scarring.
an eye on your stamina so you don't run out. To recover lost stamina, you can hunt for local flora and fauna. You can use either your tranquilizer gun or your knife to hunt.
My only weapon is a Mark 22 Hush Puppy tranquilizer gun?
That's right. It's been fitted with its own suppressor. However, the suppressor will deteriorate every time you fire. Once its durability reaches 0, the noise suppression effect will be gone.
Well, that's a nice new
Don't get
mechanic.
too trigger happy with it. The suppressor's durability is shown in the icon. Any weapons and equipment beyond what you're carrying now, you'll have to find as you go.
I have to find my own weapons and equipment? Whose crazy idea was this anyway?
Solo covert actions are standard Fox operating procedure. You can't leave any traces of your presence. No weapons, equipment, footprints, sweat, or bodily waste. The same goes for bullets and cartridges, too. Your presence in enemy territory is already a violation of
You
international
can't leave any
conventions
turds
of warfare.
anywhere, not even in a
There aren't
well-buried
supposed
bush
to be
or
any
all.
American soldiers in Russia. It could spark an international incident.
No, you're not allowed to leave
Can't let
turds.
anyone see you. You can't let the enemy know
Yeah, I
you're
need
there.
human, like, doggy
This is a
bags, pick 'em
stealth
up.
Mission. You're a ghost, Snake, in every sense of the word. And there'll be no rescue if you're captured. The military and US government will deny any involvement in the affair.
Then I'll just have to take care of myself, huh?
I'm afraid so. You've been given a fake death pill for that purpose. SIS guidelines stipulate that soldiers on covert ops like this one be issued a potassium cyanide capsule. Tape it to your body so you can take it when you need to.
How generous of you.
Use it if you're taken prisoner by the enemy. It'll send you into a state of false death for a short time.
Fooling them into thinking that I'm really dead. So, how do I come back to life?
Just take the revival pill.
You mean that thing they put in my tooth before the mission?
That's the one. But be careful. If you remain in a state of false death for too long, nothing will be able to bring you back. Remember that.
I'll keep it in mind. You said this was a solo mission, right?
Right.
I guess that means I can't count on any reinforcements.
Correct. The mission rests entirely in your hands.
A real one-man army.
Relax. There's a support team ready to back you up over the radio.
Who?
I'll introduce them to you. This time, survival is of utmost importance. The first member of the support team will be in charge of monitoring your physical condition, acting as a medic, so to speak, as well as recording your mission data. She's a member of Fox as well, and she's here on the gunship with me.
She?
Hello, Snake. I'm paramedic. Nice to meet you.
Paramedic.
As in a medic who comes in by parachute.
Aren't you going to tell me your real name?
Are you going to tell me yours, Mr. Snake?
My name, huh?
Ah, she's a bit of a
It's
cool customer
John
compared to
Doe.
last save
Let me call
losses.
you Jack for short. You're a regular Captain Nemo.
A name means nothing on the battle.